corporations are burning their waste.
It's just like it seems like there's no responsible thing to do about it.
Not super educated on it though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know shit about it, but it's a good question. It's an important question because we make so much garbage. Like we make so much stuff. We have such a surplus of stuff, and then we're like, all right, like it's dead like 4 years later. Everything we have, all the material things around us, just become trash when we're done with them, and no one else wants. I mean, like no one else wants.
Because we're so
fucking we're on the big curve. So it's like, do you feel like we're at like 4 or like 10 on an exponential growth curve?
X squared. Let's say we're X squared right now.
X squared. But it's just like
from 0 to infinity.
0 to infinity, yeah. Okay. X squared from 0 to infinity.
Okay.
But we're only at 3. My hypothesis is that we're at 3 on this exponential growth curve.
Yeah.
But what the fuck are we supposed to do from here? Like, we're just gonna ride this thing and see where it takes us?
Well, we're gonna become the people.
We're gonna become
that are creating when we're at 4.
Yeah. How long?
And then our kids will be 5.
Yeah.
Their kids will be 6.
It's weird to think we have like long lifetimes, but not really. It's really not long
we do
at
have
all.
Long in the.
It's so weird. Everything,
like
everything is perspective.
Like the common era.
Yeah, humans, we have a long lifespan. That's like another thing so good about like this time that we're living in.
Yeah.
Such good medicine, live for so long, but then overpopulation. And it's good to keep everyone alive. Like we want everyone to be happy that's alive, but then it's like, what are we supposed to do when there's 20 billion of us or 30 billion of us?
I think that
Mars.
No, I think that there's just a point where it's like the fucking laws of nature where we're gonna flatten out.
Really? Why?
I don't know if it's 30 billion or 40 billion. I don't know how many it is, but like every population
carrying capacity,
yeah, has a line where they can't really surpass without coming back down.
What do you think is going to be the event that stops us?
Good question.
Mega volcano, asteroid, climate change, nuclear, chemical, overpopulation, rising sea levels.
I think out
some
of all
fucking
of them,
dumb buddy touching the red button.
I think out of all of them, the most likely would probably be like just either lack of like air or lack of food.
Yeah.
Or our overproduction of food causing like drought.
Factory farming's fucked.
I think drought is the answer to our 100 million people. What's gonna stop us? I think
Drought?
But also by that point, we'll just be able to take ocean water and make it clean like that.
Can't we already do that? That's the thing I always don't understand. Desalinization, we already can do that.
Yeah.
But why?
It's just hard to do it on large scale. But if everyone had their own little tool.
That's what I'm picturing. Like
a little tool, and everyone lives by a water source. Like everyone lives on the coast of all the countries.
Yeah, but then what happens when there's like the tsunami or the big storms? Because those are going to get...
Big storms will get worse and worse.
Big storms are going to get way worse.
Yeah.
Dude, we're right at the beginning of this climate change thing.
Big storms.
This thing is not going away, and we're not going to stop because we are selfish.
And I always get confused about?
What?
How could the water levels rise that much if most of the ice in the world is already floating in the water? Think about it. That's just like buoyancy. That water melts. If I have ice in my cup, the water level isn't going to change when it melts.
It will a little bit, though.
No, it won't.
No?
No. That's chemistry, baby. Buoyancy.
When water melts, it doesn't add more water. It doesn't raise the water level?
Water is the only compound.
Ice displaces water.
Water is the only compound where its solid is less dense than its liquid.
That's weird.
It's the perfect thing for humans to have come across, or for life to have come across. Water's like the perfect thing.
Can you imagine a species or an organism that would not require water? It's weird to even think about other...
The only reason we require water is because of like respiration and like photosynthesis.
And our body has like evolved, or everything on Earth has evolved to use water. That's a crazy thought.
What if liquid nitrogen?
Yeah.
On some other planet.
That's what I'm thinking. Dude, the life out there, because, I mean, it's
I bet
ridiculous
it's
to
all-
even ask this question. Like, do you think that there's life out there?
Yeah, easy.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is
that-
easy.
There's gotta be a pattern between that life source though. Like maybe ours is H2O, maybe someone else's is some other like covalently bonded, maybe hydrogen based, maybe oxygen based, who knows. Maybe it could have none of either. Maybe it's two atoms of the same family.
Could there be organisms not made of DNA?
That's tough.
That's a crazy one, because all
That
we
is
know
a
is
crazy
DNA.
one.
It's like there's one thing everything we know, it makes sense to us because we've seen it, we've studied
but
it.
it still doesn't make sense.
I know it still doesn't make
How
sense, which
does
is
these
crazy.
tiny little things know what to do?
I still
on a
don't.
molecular
I don't
level?
still don't understand how smart our body is.
Signals, but like
Like our
What the
brain
fuck
is
are
just a bunch of synapses sending messages between each other. Our bodies are just. I can't believe like are cells alive? How alive are cells? Because cells seem pretty alive to me.
Because when the first organisms were just a single cell, or
Yeah.
even like part of a cell.
Yeah, the protozoa, the little ones.
Well, I think it was like we learned about this in bio. Maybe
Yeah,
like the
AP
first
bio.
living thing, it was just like one organelle of a cell, and then it started gaining organelles, and it became a cell. Over evolution, and then we started gaining our own organelles, which were cells, and we became one cell. We are a cell.
We're 10 trillion cells.
No, we are one cell.
We're one cell made of 10 trillion cells.
Yeah, but what's this word cell? Why do we?
The
I know we
group
have a.
Well, I think anything that
certain-
has a natural surrounding around it, like a cell wall.
Our skin is our cell.
Cell-
wall.
Yeah, I think we're a cell made up of cells, made up of cells, made up of cells, made up of cells. Because aren't atoms? I mean,
Made
if
up
you're
of
y-
corks.
and
Corks. I think corks are
made up of strings.
Strings of energy.
Strings of
Is
energy,
that what
yeah.
string theory is?
I think so. I mean,
Corks
we're not
are-
smart enough to be talking about string theory,
Yeah,
but
string theory's sick,
we're
though.
not smart enough to be talking about string theory. But string theory is dope.
So maybe we're just a string in this time, in this timeline. We are just part of the string.
It's so hard to think about. Like when you think about the string, then the cork, then the atoms, still way too small.
Then
That's
the-
like three generations of bigger and bigger and bigger, and still nowhere near we can see it. And then cells, or
No,
not
then
even then cells.
molecules,
Then molecules.
Like amino acids.
Then amino acids.
Then like organelles.
Then organelles.
Or no, then like proteins and like fats and
Then DNA. Then it's like those polypeptides combining together and forming strings of things. The strings again.
strings.
Maybe when you
Human
think
centipede.
of the most natural thing, do you think strings, circles? Because circles seem pretty natural. Circles seem pretty like just this looping, the flowing, not straight lines. Straight lines are not natural. I don't think.
I was watching this. The most natural thing is like, there's not like one word I can put on it. Sort of think of it as like graphs. Like movement over time that's constant. And like I was watching this video of this guy. Like one night he just got beat the fuck out of. He got like his brain bashed in. Not super bad. He was alive and he was like, no real brain damage. But when he woke up, he had crazy OCD. And he like would wash his hands 50, 100 times. And then like he'd be like, oh shit, I just washed my hands 100 times. Because like he'd be like, oh shit, well, that's not important. But like he started noticing like just like these like patterns everywhere he looked. And then like one day he was like at this lecture at some school and the teacher was teaching math and they must have gone over some abstract concept and it clicked and he was like, that's what I've been seeing. He says it's everywhere. And he says now that he knows what he was seeing was like real and it was there, and now he had a concept and something like call it, his OCD went away.
Wow.
Now he has a wife and kids. But
Damn.
before, he was like depressed in his room, like he would just sleep all day because he didn't want to be alive. And then he found out math.
What is that? The aha moment?
Yeah.
You know the aha moment?
Bildungsroman?
Kinda, yeah.
Coming of age.
The coming of age, but it's like micro Bildungsroman. It's like the moment of clarity that you get, like when you're
Maybe
working on
macro.
something. No,
Micro.
Bildungsroman is
Micro, macro.
maybe, but I'm talking about like the aha moment, like when you're working on something, you're trying to write a paper, or you're trying to come up with an idea for something, or you're trying to form a sentence, and then the words come to you, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, that's there, yeah, that I want to say that. It's like, what is that? It's like certain things coming together in your brain, and then they're all in a certain order. They're all organized in the perfect way, and it makes the aha.
Yeah, there's some like proven something that says like the harder you think of something, the harder it is for your brain to come up with it.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you stop thinking about it, your brain subconsciously thinks of it. Some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that aha moment is just like you're focusing way too hard, and like in reality, if you had just chilled,
Yeah.
it would have just come to you. But instead, you're focusing so hard, so when it does come to you, it seems so much bigger.
I read this crazy book called Stealing Fire, and it was talking about like the Navy SEALs, Google, like all these like really, Red Bull, all these like super either high tech or high performing companies. And it was talking about the ways that they are trying to facilitate the aha moments. So there's the float tanks, there's the people, the meditation instructors, then there's the microdosing of psychedelics.
Really?
Yeah. Then there's the it's just all these things that that they're trying to test, and they're like, we're doing studies on. Oh, there's a helmet. Like, this is crazy. Talking about, what we were talking about before, like
The
how,
monkey?
yeah, crazy stuff, like crazy stuff in the world we're living in. A helmet or brain waves that literally manipulate your brain waves to try to get that aha moment. So maybe they'll take a person who's been meditating for a while, and in that perfect state of bliss that would probably like be really good for the creativity, and when you said you were relaxed, the aha moments come. Take that perfect state and then like manipulate your brain so it's like that. And I'm like, what?
That's the future.
What?
That's like number
Come
6
on.
on the exponential.
Yeah.
graph.
Dude, that still makes me ask, what is 100 and what is 10,000?
We've already all been in a perpetual state of aha by 100. We're all just
That's
super
dangerous.
geniuses.
That is
No, but then
dangerous.
at that point, it's normal, so it's not dangerous.
What is going to be normal when when we think about the future, we think about the past, everything's wild and different.
Think about this. 1,000 years ago, the people
10, 20.
that were like making gunpowder for the first time were the
China.
super geniuses.
Yeah.
Now we have people
Doing everything. Literally anything
we
you
have
can think
rockets in
of.
space.
Yeah,
People
rockets
used
in
to look up and be
space.
like, that's the
Cameras
bear shooting."
cameras seeing, telescopes seeing so far away.
And that's just like, yeah,
It's normal. Yeah, we have
that's
telescopes.
NASA.
That's NASA. They're doing their thing over there.
Yeah.
Like
But
the
then
rocket
once-
guys are doing their thing.
Then something's finally cool. Now it's like a big deal when someone like cures some uncurable crazy disease. That's the new like, whoa.
Yeah.
Instead of just
It's like
this thing that pops when you heat it up.
things that pops when you heat it up. Is that the hot?
Gunpowder. I'm saying,
Yeah.
like before it was
Yeah,
so simple.
yeah.
It was just like
Well, we've came so long
just like
from
a chemical
then.
reaction, and now we're doing things that require
It's
like,
still just chemical
I
reactions,
know, but now
though.
it's like hundreds and thousands.
Do you
at
see
same
the
time
world
as
through a
chemical-
lens of straight chemical reactions?
Yeah, it's sick.
So that's a pretty cool lens to look at it. I sometimes think about that.
Because I have like a theory that there's no, it's kind of sad theory, but there's no real meaning of life. We're all just floating atoms that want a full valence shell of electrons.
The
octet.
octet rule. That's dope.
Because like in
I
chemistry,
love
that's
8.
really
8's my favorite
that's
number.
one of the most basic, like, other than like heat rises, but that's only because of gravity.
Yeah.
So like,
There's a couple of things. It's like the three laws of
rises is a
thermodynamics.
law. Does that mean that big, dense masses attract or push away heat? Is that what that means? Or is that because of atmosphere as heat rises? That's because of atmosphere and they're moving fast. So they bounce through all the slow-moving air.
So it's gravity, the laws of thermodynamics. Entropy always increases. Like when you're thinking about like the things that really define our world around us, or the ones that we know at least. It's like say we go back to the very beginning. So we go back 13.8 billion years.
Okay.
If that is the beginning.
Who knows?
If that is the beginning, not sure.
That's a theory.
That's a
the
theory.
Big Bang theory.
Say I heard this crazy theory, and it's called the infotron theory, and it was basically just what I pictured it as, this little box in space of like a little contained group of atoms or something, and when they all formed a perfect equilibrium between each other, then they went off. I don't know if that's how it happened. No one understands the Big Bang, I don't think. But work with me from here. Now that we're moving outwards, we're just flying in every direction, shooting crazy. And that's still what we're doing. 13.8 billion years ago, something happened, or maybe longer, we don't know, but pretty sure it's 13.8 billion years ago. Something happened where there was a little bit, and then just every single direction, kind of like the symmetry, shooting off.
What symmetry?
What, the symmetry of the bonsai tree that you were talking about before, how you like symmetry?
Yeah.
Everyone likes symmetry. Symmetry's dope. It's like why we find people attractive, because it's the face and the eyes. It's like why whatever the kid's name is with the close eyes, it's like, not the best. Yeah, we'll leave his name out. Dude, everyone loves symmetry. It's like built into us. Yeah. The octet rule, that's symmetrical.
That is symmetrical.
Everything cool.
It's actually debatable because they move so fast that they're never in the same spot.
Yeah, it's crazy to think like the octet rule.
But it's 8. 8 is divisible.
We think of it like this. We think of the octet rule like that, but it's really the electrons. They're moving so fast.
Cloud.
It's like a cloud, but the things are here and here and here and here all at the same time in no time.
Everywhere at once because they're moving so fast.
And nowhere.
And nowhere.
That's like quantum mechanics. I think we just described quantum mechanics. When everything's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's like when something's a 0 and a 1. That's harder to think about because how can something be a 0 and a 1 at the same time?
Yeah,
it's like if you look at
something moving so fast that it's everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah, because it's like when you it's like when a car passes by, and have you seen the movie Lucy?
No.
All right, well, there's like a sped up thing of a car passing by, and then when you speed it up faster and faster and faster and faster, it like looks like it's just a car, and then 1 second it's gone.
Really?
After you speed it up so fast, then the car's like not even there. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's like
cool.
It's all. I wonder what
between
actual reality is.
0.0001 speed between.
Yeah. It's like what is the world around us, chemicals, all the things we're talking about, how much of that actually is reality and how much of that is the reality that we can understand?
What do you mean by that?
I mean that, like, you know how we can only see a limited number of colors?
Yeah. So how much do we actually know?
How much do we actually know? How smart are we?
Fucking stupid.
He says quietly.
Really, really not smart. We still have jails. That's how dumb we are.
Please don't get me started on jails. Actually, do.
No,
get me started on jails.
Because
let me go off on jails because I fucking hate jails.
When I said that, I'm not talking about the jails themselves. I'm talking about the fact that we still have these dumbass people that we have nothing better to do with them other than put them in jails. Yeah. Most of them. Well, some of them should not be in jails.
There, yeah. Most of them shouldn't be in jails.
Well, there's like psych wards. You think is it better?
It's not even psych wards, dude. Fucking rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Like when someone does something bad, teach them how to do it better. Don't just punish them.
Yeah.
Or punish them for a while and then show them, like, maybe murderers.
No,
maybe people that do really horrible things.
I think
push them away.
There's a select few jails where they don't they really only. I think media hypes up jails to be these terrible places, but when really
jails are terrible
I know,
places.
But if you behave, they give you a lot of things that you can do. You're allowed to like go to school when you're in jail?
Not in all of them. Maybe in a couple of them. Maybe in like the white jails.
No.
Not in the.
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
But no, most. It's like state.
Speaking from two
penitentiaries.
people that have never been to jail.
True. And I've never seen a
Never
jail,
seen a jail.
except the county jail.
Yeah.
Prison. We're
Yeah.
talking
I've
about
seen
prisons.
movies. I've seen Escape Plan with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And like the Prison Break from
Yep.
with, the bald guy.
Yeah.
Too bald.
Escape Plan. Spoiler alert. They're on the boat the whole time. In the middle of the ocean.
Oh, so they
That's
can't
the
even
jail.
escape.
They can't. But the guy does.
Oh, so he
Arnold
swims.
does. He swims.
Arnold.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is so dope.
Prison Break's a good show.
Why do we love that?
Have you
Like
seen that show?
Prison Break? I don't know. I don't think
Fuck,
so.
you haven't seen Prison Break?
I don't think so.
It's so good.
I can't believe you haven't seen Escape Plan. I watched that with my mom in
Prison Break is
2016,
like,
2015.
if you were to get hooked on a show, it would be Prison Break.
That's dope.
It's really cool. It's like realistic fiction.
Yeah.
And it
Okay, the thing is,
and
realistic fiction, I'd rather just read
Oxymoron.
nonfiction. Yeah, kind of an oxymoron.
No,
But I'd rather
the
like,
definition of an oxymoron.
what is the definition of an oxymoron? Realistic
A phrase
fiction?
that like contradicts
Yeah,
itself.
yeah. Realistic fiction.
Yeah.
Something's real, but we made it up.
Fake.
Yeah, something's real and fake at the same time. But maybe everything's an oxymoron if everything's a 0 and a 1 at the same time.
But is everything a 0 and 1 at that time, at the same time, or is it just certain things that we're now discovering?
Everything. Because,
Because we're all electrons
yeah.
and protons.
And so it's basically like if quantum mechanics applies to the smallest things, it applies to everything. Because we're all made of the smallest things.
What about the words coming out of our mouths?
That's
waves.
it's fucked, dude. The ideas and the consciousness is like my favorite thing. Is my favorite thing to talk about because it's the thing that makes the least sense. Everything else,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
like chemical reactions can govern a lot. The atoms you can think about a lot. But how did all these things come together where we have a brain in our head that we can form words, other people can understand our words, and then those words can go off, travel, hit other people in their place where they store words in their head and ideas, make them think something. It's like the chain reaction.
And like some words are more influential than others, and when they are, they get spread like that.
Yeah. Is it the words or is it the ideas?
What are words?
Words are our
Ideas put into the air.
understandable. Anything, something that we can understand, an understandable version, a way for us to understand
Our
the
thoughts.
understandable, the ununderstandable.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because I mean
There's
that's
a
why we
way-
have so many words.
It's a way for us
we're just like-
to understand our own and each other's consciousness.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to think about it like that, because really, like we don't really understand our. I mean, we're pretty shaky on what's going on up here,
Yeah.
and how it all comes together.
You know
That's what I'm
who's a
talking about.
neuroscientist?
Who?
Whitney Schroeder.
Whitney Schroeder?
I think she's a neurosurgeon. She's studying to be a neurosurgeon.
That's like, if I wasn't to neuroscience, is just so hard. Like
I guess
it's
the surgery
interesting.
part would be easier than the
surgery, but the,
science
like
part.
the
But
science part
still
would
the
be
surgery
so
part
hard.
would probably
Like
be-
I low-key think about doing like a little neuroscience in college.
It's like a class. It's like the BI
Yeah,
class.
a class would be cool, but a whole like 4 years of neuroscience, that would be hard as shit.
Unless you just understand it.
Yeah, unless you understand it, and I don't know if I understand. I mean, I could try it.
You get into it. What if you
Yeah,
get
get
into
into
it and
it.
it just clicks and you're just like,
That would be cool. I need to not like limit myself, or not.
yeah,
Everyone needs to do that though.
not limit themselves.
Yeah, not even not limit themselves, just
Take
not
risks.
take risks, and also like allow themselves to fail.
Yeah.
Say, okay, I'm gonna try this thing. Oh well, if it doesn't work out.
There's this program at Duke called Duke
Explore Duke.
Explore, something like that. I think
Yeah.
I told you about it.
Brown open curriculum. It's like all these places where you can like kind of pick and choose a little bit, bring them together. Brown has a really good version of that. And it's like you can do business stuff and neuroscience and philosophy,
Yeah.
and you just pull it all together. It's like you design your own curriculum, which is so
I think
like
at
what I
Duke,
like
it's
to do.
like you either get accepted. You're applying to one of the schools, and I'm not sure if you can do interdisciplinary.
interdisciplinary.
Actually, I think you can. If you get accepted to one of the schools, I think you can take classes at both.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
What, 2 schools, 1 school?
The barrier we put up between different disciplines. Because I don't think...
But do we?
Yeah, dude. Think about how we teach math, science, English, history. It's not math, science, history, English, and philosophy, and neuroscience, and technology, and AI, and
but then
entrepreneurship. Yeah, I mean, you kind of, but like the classes we're taking right now all throughout high school.
Yeah,
That's different. High school's different. High school's teaching you...
Public schools. We go to a public school.
High schools and middle schools,
Public school.
all throughout the beginning of your life, basically till you're like 20, maybe even till you're older because it goes into the workplace, is teaching you how to follow rules. That's my theory. School, the shit we learn in school, I don't think matters. I think it's just teaching us to follow rules.
They're not teaching you anything. They're babysitting you.
I was thinking in stats today, you know how we were putting in that long list of numbers? I was like...
They're just babysitting us.
They're just giving us something to do. They're just like teaching us how to say, yes, Miss Braillard, I'll do that. Thank you for this class today.
No, then
Thank you.
there was one state where I think it was Florida, where they sued the state for not giving them in-person school during COVID because it's like written in, I think, the...
Do you think we should be going back to school right now? Do you think we... Well, it's different because Martha's Vineyard, because we're pretty safe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you were the president,
what
would you be doing right? Well, I don't know about Martha's Vineyard, probably yes.
Yes.
But, Mr. President, I am speaking to Mr. President of Martha's Vineyard Regional High School right now.
True. I am.
That's interesting.
I'd say
Weird.
let's go back to school.
Funny. Let's us go back to school, but not other places.
Yeah, not other places.
Not other places. They're not as smart.
It's like going back to school. Each school would need to follow a similar set of guidelines.
Yeah.
But there's no way to do that because states run their schools.
State laws are important, though.
Yeah.
I like states being able to choose. Is that Republican?
It prevents. That's both.
That's
That's
fuck the line. I hate that.
I don't even know what they mean.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah. I like that there's some national rules that govern everyone because it promotes unity. Yeah, federal. And then there's things like marijuana laws, and I feel like drinking age should be, except like Alabama would be like 11, and Massachusetts would be like 45.
Yeah.
Maine and Alaska. Now Alaska would probably be
like 3 years.
Yeah,
old.
Alaska would be 3. Hawaii would be like 14.
No, Alaska would be like, as soon as you're not pregnant,
Yeah.
you and the kid.
You and the kids can start buzzing. Yeah, but like I like marijuana laws and driving laws.
That's what prevents just like.
That's what prevents the president from having too much control.
Yeah.
I mean, the president already has so much. Yeah, checks and balances.
I don't think the president has that much power.
How much can they do?
Don't have that much power. So that's why
I always wonder.
I always get disappointed when people point fingers at the president. I think you have to point fingers at the government as a whole.
Yeah, I point fingers at the government as a whole.
I hate these names that we assign to each parties, which we're just assigning names to. I don't even know what the parties.
George Washington said that there should never be parties. It should just be people.
My little cousin told me this the other day. In presidential elections, the loser used to be the vice president.
That's dope.
That's dope.
I like that. See, that's sick. It's the combination of everything.
It's like you hear both sides.
You know what's weird?
Empathy.
Yeah, empathy's. English question. Can we learn empathy?
Yes. We don't do anything besides learn our qualities.
We don't not learn anything. Everything is learned.
This is what we talked about in my junior year English class. Everything about us is taken from our surroundings.
Yeah.
We are not unique at one bit. We are not 1% unique except our DNA, which has come from 2 people, but we mixed it to make it unique.
Okay. Everything's learned.
Everything's learned.
But what about early human stuff? Like, like tribalism and like how we see, like if we saw a group of people coming at us on the savannah on the horizon, like we're like, oh, those are enemies. We better buff up our security.
Just like
it's like now like
Instincts,
liberals
like
and conservatives.
animal instincts.
Yeah, animal instincts.
Just like fight.
Yeah, it's like
versus
things
flight.
that are kind of like in the DNA, kind of like the things that get passed down through traits like that. The things that make us better at surviving. Is that in our DNA? Where is that getting passed down at? Are those genes that are getting passed down?
It must be
Are those
some sort
words? Are those ideas?
No, I think at some point it becomes, because think about it, if someone has a genetic disability where it affects their brain,
Okay.
they are usually less, like, I guess, like put someone with a genetic disability with their brain out in the woods and someone without one out in the woods, and one might not know, like, it's like, I guess I could see a scenario where someone due to a mental disability wouldn't know what's dangerous and what's not. So it must be something in our genetics that puts it in our brain. You know what I mean? Because if someone is like,
But our consciousness isn't genetic, is it? Like the conversation we're having, how much of it
means coming from DNA?
and that? But isn't the brain made out of DNA?
Well,
Obviously,
is made
everything's
out of
made
cells,
out of
and there's DNA in cells.
Yeah, DNA is
isn't
everything.
Like, DNA isn't like a building block.
DNA is in this stuff.
No.
No, DNA is only life.
Yeah.
This is just
Unless there's feathers in there.
yeah.
The dead cells might have some dead DNA.
DNA,
Like some, like,
yeah.
dried up. But like, an example of something that wouldn't have DNA, maybe like
Or like a cement.
dirt,
Yeah.
rocks.
No, dirt maybe because
Well, yeah,
organic
but, like,
matter.
rocks.
Yeah, a rock,
Rocks,
a cinder
air.
block.
water,
Yeah. How living is water?
not living.
Not living at all.
Unless it has
I don't know
something-
why water feels semi-conscious to me. Maybe it's just the ocean and the way it moves. Like when I'm on the ocean,
because the ocean, it just like sorta, it just
feels pretty fluid and conscious to me.
I think that's just ocean portraying other energy, like
And our interpretation of the things and like what we want it to be, like the confirmation, like I love the ocean, so it would be romantic for me to. It's like a romantic vision in my head for me to think that it's semi-living.
yeah.
But then when I think about going back to the extraterrestrial life not being carbon-based or not being DNA-based, how far from us could it be? Could it be a living ocean?
I think
anything is possible.
You brought that idea up to me, and I think of course it's possible.
Yeah,
Why
because
wouldn't it be?
literally anything
They have that in like
is
sci-fi stuff.
anything possible?
We don't know
We don't know. But
because we're so
can't
secluded.
isn't there every like I feel like every
I guess
combination of
creating
things.
matter is a theory that it's not possible to create or destroy matter. That is one.
Yeah,
thing
matter cannot be
that-
created nor destroyed. But how would we have matter if it can't be created or destroyed?
Because I'm not smart enough to describe the Big Bang. That's the theory. Is that the Big Bang? That's all the matter ever came from this energy, and now it's all one source, and it's just spreading out. And we know that it's getting. I think one of the one piece of evidence that proves to us that there's no new matter being generated into the universe is that over the years we have like tracked stars and we've like reflected light off these stars and they're getting further away rather than just staying put and the universe expanding. You know what I mean? So like say I have the universe and my glasses like Big Bang, this is matter. Instead of going like this and then there's new glasses, it's just
Yeah.
this and the glasses are getting spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so hard to think about.
It is.
Our brains are so small. Like, it's weird. It's so hard to think about. Like, I always think about how smart are we?
We're not smart.
We're not smart, he says.
Whisper again.
But it's like we're kind of smart. We can do a lot of dope
No,
shit.
we are cool. We're
We're
smart,
pretty
but
cool.
I think that the fact that we haven't contacted any life or any
Dude, imagine if every other life is out
connected.
there,
And
connected,
we're
chatting.
so far away, they have
chatting.
no idea about us.
Maybe not even so far away. Maybe we're just too dumb to contact them. Maybe
We're
it's
like
like
a petting zoo.
maybe it's like, dude, maybe it's like you have to gain entry into a club. We have to contact life successfully, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, come over here. Like
Yeah.
it's like us 5 billion groups of us like all chatting, like we're hanging.
I think it's so.
It's the boys, like we're together.
I think that's. Think about 2 different planets that have both intelligent life and they communicate with one another.
Yeah,
Is that occurring right now in our universe?
definitely, dude.
Whoa, it's like
That
Rick
is
and Morty.
crazy.
That's like Futurama.
That is
type stuff.
crazy. Yeah, throwback Futurama. Throwback to Saturday morning 6 a.m. cartoons in the sunroom.
I never did that.
Oh,
My whole life, I've been a wake up at 11 a.m. kind of guy.
Dude, Saturday morning cartoons are equally as important to me as Little League. And you know how important Little League is to
Little League
me.
is an important part of my life. I'm writing about Little League. Or my
What do
intro's
you-
about Little League.
What's your angle?
Sort of almost overcoming failure with not really sort of overcoming failure by using my passion and competitiveness almost.
I fuck with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mine was, I was trying to think of like when we were applying at college. I was doing so much research like over the summer about what you should be doing right now, and it's like you want to paint a picture of yourself, and the colleges will just be like, yeah, that seems like a cool person. So I was thinking like, how do I want to portray myself? Open-minded, able to adapt, obviously smart and curious and like kind of risk-taking. That's like why I wanted to include I started Evolution Clothing Company at 15 and it failed, or I never continued it. It sold like 30 shirts, made like $500 or something, and then just like never did anything with it again, just because I was like kind of over it and I like just wasn't really that into it. But I thought it was cool, so I started something. I just like didn't pursue it. Now I started Island Cleanup.
In the process of pursuing it. You are in the process of
I am in the process of pursuing it, but
pursuit.
I like starting things. That's like my favorite part. In the middle, I like get bored and I switch.
Commitment.
Yeah, that's like it's like I don't really give that like I don't give a shit about winning nearly as much as you do.
I really care about winning. That's
Why?
I'm like the most competitive person I know. That's
Why do you love winning so much?
I just want to be the best.
But it's like what
Like I'm
in
not,
your childhood?
I'm not the best at anything. What's the point of losing?
Yeah,
You
I
can
mean,
win.
like obviously the goal is to win. I just don't get as upset. I think I take except I get pissed when I lose
No,
sometimes.
I can like take losses.
I'm the opposite.
I can
I
take
take
a loss.
losses bad, but I fucking don't give. I don't
get
like
a little
winning.
aggravated inside, but I mean, like, I don't get too worked up.
Yeah, I don't care that much about winning, but I get pissed about losing.
I just play again.
Yeah,
Just
play
piss me
again.
off.
That's like the ping pong, just again and again and again. Another quick game to 11. Quick game to 11. Let's
Yeah.
go. Come on.
Quick game to 11.
Yeah, but that's like the addicting. That's
Guess
like
what?
We're having another game of ping pong after
No,
this.
guess what?
What?
You're gonna think this is dope.
What?
The first paragraph of my college essay, you hit a home run in it.
Oh my God! Oh no way!
Yeah. You're the kid that crushes me in my college essay.
Oh my God! That's
I somehow want to conclude it with like that we play
That we're
ping
best
pong all the
friends
time.
and now
That
we're
we
on a
play ping
fucking-
pong, like quick game to 11.
Quick game to 11. Oh my God, Leo!
How crazy is
Dude. Respect. That's
that? I forgot
fucking
to tell you
awesome.
about that.
That's awesome.
I don't like throw any names in there, but like I tell the story, and it's the story of when you hit the home run over Bizu.
That was good.
I was in a squat behind the home plate.
It was good.
You mean
But it wasn't.
you didn't feel that Cool.
that good.
Yeah, I can like.
I feel like it wasn't as if someone else had done it,
that's a small win.
they would have been more excited than I
Really?
was.
I would have been stoked.
I mean, obviously I was stoked. I hit a fucking game-winning home run
And
for
you guys won.
and we won. Like
So-
obviously that's an unreal moment. But I was pretty excited. I was pretty stoked. But I wasn't
I
coming.
think it would have been different if
I
it was
didn't
like
come.
the equivalent for tennis, though.
Maybe.
Maybe a
But I
little
was
bit
pretty
better.
invested in baseball. I don't know. I guess it does depend on like the amount of energy you put into something. Like I don't think I ever tried that hard in baseball. I was just like naturally athletic, and I was like during that age I was pretty big compared to everyone else. Like now I'm like medium, but then
remember-
14 I was bigger than most kids because
Yeah.
I'm older and I just like matured really early. And so it was like it was
your
just
team
me,
was, like,
Chris, and
Chris
Hoffy.
Hoffy,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
literally
you guys
me,
were
Chris,
all,
and
like-
Hoffy, and we were dirty.
Yeah.
But it's like now it's like the amount maybe now winning it would feel better. I don't know like how many big wins I've had recently just because like I'm not in that many competitive like things.
You brought up a point like 25 seconds ago that's really important. It's about how much you put into something.
That's what I wanted
If
to
the
talk about.
Yeah. So like if I get into Duke, that's like 4 years of work. I'm literally gonna like shit my pants if I open that letter and it says yes. Like that's way different than if I hit a home run Sunday.
It's also
I
like
haven't
because
been preparing for Sunday's game for 4 years.
yeah,
I've been preparing for 3 days.
it's also like all the SAT studying we've done, all the tests we've studied for.
I had a Duke
all-
sweatshirt when I was in like 6th grade that I wore like every day until 8th grade.
That's dope. It's like how long you've held something. It's how long you've valued something. Maybe it's you know how you were talking about the graph, how it's everything. Maybe
Like the X
the like how
Oh, math.
math.
Yeah.
No, you don't remember math, right?
Yeah.
My friend Math.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he comes
He's
he
everything.
comes up again and again and again. Also, math is just a language.
A language is a way to communicate with one another. Math is a way to describe patterns.
But would you not consider a math a language at all?
There is a language of math, but math itself is not a language. Math has
But you
a
can
language,
read,
but math
but two
isn't
different
the-
people can read some. I feel like take away the word language, we have to use it because it's the only thing we can understand. But like
way
if
to
you're reading
communicate
if you read a
ideas. A way to
sentence,
communicate ideas.
yeah,
So math is a language.
math is a language. That's
but
what I
it's
was
a
getting
langu-
at.
It's a specific. It's not really.
It's the math is the language of the universe, which is a crazy thought. Because then what is science? Science is another language of the universe.
Science is the language on shrooms of the universe.
Yeah. I just can't imagine how crazy the other planets are out there.
I really want to see it, but also what
We're
if it
probably
scars
never
me for
going
life?
to. Probably
What if
never
it's
going
scary?
to. Yeah, it's probably
If
going to
it's
be really
people killing
scary.
each other?
Maybe if the people killing each other here.
That's what someone in some other universe or some other galaxy just said that. Because their planet has no death, and our planet.
I don't know if you would believe in this, but a lot of people, I think it's, I don't know if it's proven,
Multiverse?
but multiverse.
I'd say I ponder the idea.
But
and I'd
is
say
the multiverse
I can't
in
deny
infinitely many realities? Is like the idea when people say multiverse, do they mean that there are infinitely many versions of every possible reality? That's what I was getting at before about like the combination of things. Like there's every combination of things. Any way that atoms could come together. Like if everything's just atoms, and atoms can come together in any type of way.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
but-
well, I mean they're governed by rules,
Yeah, but
but they can come
Yeah,
together to
you're right.
form essentially everything.
yeah.
Then everything's possible. If everything's atoms and atoms can come together in every infinitely many possible ways, then every combination of things is possible, which means that everything is possible.
But there's some things that aren't combinations. There's some things that like for example, when we're talking about creating atoms, that's not a combination of atoms. That's creating a whole new atom. So is everything except creating atoms possible?
Maybe.
But what about waves, like sound and like radiation?
But aren't sound waves just atoms?
No. It's a whole different phenomena. It's energy moving through atoms.
Energy's a different.
I don't think sound travels in space because there's no atoms for it to bounce off of.
Is how much, you know how they say a vacuum is the absence of all matter, of all atoms? Mm-hmm. How much of space is a vacuum? A lot of it? All of it? None of it? No. Then why do we even talk about it?
Like black holes are vacuums.
Yeah. Oh, but black holes. Oh, fucking another mind boggler.
Do those exist? Yeah.
Yes, black holes are real as fuck. Black holes are for real. And those are crazy.
Are they actually a hole?
I think black holes are just...
What if they're wormholes? What if they're Rick and Morty portals?
Dude. Then
what
this
if
goes
one day
back...
we got a video of just like Rick and Morty popping out of a black hole. Where you're like, that's what it was the whole time.
I know. Some guy on shrooms like this like 20 minutes ago in like Arkansas, like
just saw that.
Just like actually predicted what the universe is.
Oh,
or actually
for
just,
Rick and Morty.
No, not even Rick and Morty. Just like some guy on shrooms in Arkansas right now, sitting in his basement alone, pitch black on 5 grams of dried psilocybin, just realized what the entire universe is. And if he tried to explain it to anyone,
he couldn't put it to words.
He couldn't put it to words, but also if he could, no one would believe him because it's some guy in his basement on shrooms in Arkansas.
I think that's a cool concept and it's possible. The shrooms in Arkansas, that's just a metaphor.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you got that. Shrooms in Arkansas are a metaphor. We could already have the right answer and just not know it. That's crazy.
The Big Bang could be the right answer. We just don't know the step right before it.
I heard something saying about that it's these the oscillating like expansion and contractions of the universe perioded by Big
Bang
Bangs.
and the Big Crunch, they call it.
Yeah. Like the big crunch is when everything comes together.
When everything collapses to a point.
Maybe that's a thing. I don't know if that's
expands.
proved though. Yeah. The theory
it's
of
not
like
proved as a theory, just like it's the Big Bang theory.
it makes sense. The question we're always left with is where did the initial shit come from? Because I feel like
the initial
it makes,
energy.
it just was there. Dude.
That's why I have faith in some sort of higher power.
Yeah. I get the higher power thing when you're thinking about it, not like as some guy snap.
Yeah.
But that something had to come first.
Yes.
Something had to come first.
And that is the power. It's the thing that came first. It might not have dominion over us, but we can believe in it, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice to believe in things. Because like I definitely don't believe in whatever you believe.
I don't really have a set belief. I know that Jesus was a man, and I don't know what he did because it's just stories. But
passed
I know he was a
down,
man.
translated through dozens of languages, got messed up. People try to put in, probably someone put in their name, John the Apostle or whatever, probably actually named Mark or something, and the guy John in 608 wrote John. Like that's probably what I would do. Max Potter, cross out.
You were just a monk, and you're just like,
Yo, you gonna tell anyone? No, you're good. Good chill.
cross it out.
Yeah, just cross it out.
Or write, like, make your own little edition. There's like, what book was I reading? I was reading something, and it was mentioning that there's Bibles that have mess ups, and they go down in history as like one Bible, like instead of this is not true. Like as an example, instead of saying, and God or Jesus broke bread and gave it to his disciples, it said Jesus broke a bear and gave it to us, and that would be known as the Bear Bible.
Yeah.
What if we just have the Jesus Bible?
Yeah. Maybe. It's like the combination of, what were we talking about that I wanted to talk about?
I just thought of.
What? Tell it.
I didn't come to the end until I said the Jesus Bible.
Tell it.
No, I just did.
Oh, the Jesus Bible?
I just thought about it. What if we have the Jesus Bible?
Wait, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
That's how I think about everything.
It's the formation. It's the combination of atoms.
It's not
Anything
even
is
the
possible.
combination of
It's the multiverse.
yeah, kind
have
of,
the
but
Jesus
it's also
Bible.
like us messing up our interpretation governs the world around us. It doesn't govern the actual world, but it governs our interpretation of the world, thus governing ourselves. Like what we see. That's why I think telescopes and like microscopes are cool, because it's like one step beyond just our senses. Because really all we understand is the stuff through our senses. And that's all we've known for everything on Earth has only known what they were able to perceive throughout their entire life. So they learned to survive with exactly what they had. They formed new adaptations over millions and millions of years. They moved out of the water onto land and then back into the water. That's another thing.
But how have we perceived these theories that we come up with? You know what I mean? Like how these theories that we've been talking about, what happened before, where we like somehow with our senses saw, heard, smelled, thought of something.
I think it took a while.
Yeah, but
Like 50,000 years
if
ago in
everything
Africa.
if everything we talk and think about is from our senses, where are our theories from? Is senses just our brain? Our senses just our brain?
I heard someone put this in a pretty cool way. I'll see if I can do it justice. Our brain is sitting in a dark, locked black box. And the only access the brain has to the outside world is through our five senses.
Are our five senses little peepholes in that box? Or are they doors?
Peepholes.
Peepholes.
Because we
That's
can't.
my answer.
Yeah, peepholes.
We don't have doors.
We don't have doors. We're barely getting a crack.
It's like one of those bad like.
Yeah, it's like when you're. It's like
it's
I'm
like
doing
you're at
this,
the
but I
hotel,
can't really see.
Yeah, and it's like you're on the wrong side.
Yeah, it's like you can not even see
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
like you're trying to look into.
That's
the
what I
hotel
mean,
room.
though. When it's like, that's a great metaphor.
Yeah.
The
We're
way
looking into the hotel room.
we
and
are.
The hotel room's looking back at us.
Yeah,
like,
and the hotel room's
who
the
is this
universe,
guy?
and we are. But is the hotel room? Say the universe is the hotel room, and we are the person looking in.
hallway.
We're knocking on the door, and we're trying to see what's going on there. The universe is fucking inside, like they don't want us there. They're not going to open the door. They're busy. Is the universe?
We gotta pick that lock.
How? Yeah, that's what science is, and that's what the theories are.
Jimmying
The
the lock.
theories you're talking
We're
about.
jimmying the lock. As soon as we get the right theory, it's gonna pop right open.
Yeah, but how long? 10,000, 100,000 years from now is it going to take to pop
Humans
that
will
lock?
never do it.
Bold claim. Bold claim. Humans will never do it.
There's someone else out there. That's
Probably
done
already
it.
done it. Maybe. Plenty? If
maybe
there's
that's what-
infinitely many possibilities, then everyone's done
well, the
anything.
universe is not infinite.
Yeah, but like
13
maybe
billion,
it is.
13.8 billion light years in radius, right? Did we do it by a radius?
No, it's 13.8 billion years.
Light years.
Light years.
In which way? Every
No,
direction.
13.
Every direction.
No, not 13. The universe isn't 13.8 billion light years.
It's 13.8 billion years old, and the universe expands at the speed of light.
Oh. God damn, how big is a light year?
It takes
So big.
traveling at the speed of light for a year.
Speed of light. Okay, think about this. Speed of light for a second,
Would bring us.
hundreds of thousands of miles. That's a fact.
Well, look at the how
186,000 miles per second.
Is that what it is?
Yes. 186,000 miles.
Doesn't seem like that many miles.
186,000?
If you ran 3 miles a day and you lived to 186, think about it. Not that many.
186 times 3? 186,000.
I know. If you ran 3 miles every day from when you were born and you lived to 186, that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's not right. That's
Yeah, it
not
is.
right.
3 miles a day,
Times-
365 days a year. That's 1,000 miles a year. A little over. If you lived to 186, you ran 186,000 miles.
This like doesn't matter, but 3 times 365 times
186.
180.
It's probably more. It's like
Six.
200,000.
Oh, it is 200,000.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
that's good.
203,000.
780.
Okay, that's good. 780, 760 for me. That's good. That was probably the one
the
question we
20.
got wrong. That was a 20. Fuck. Okay, but 186,000. That's 186 year old. That's 186
Year old man.
year old. Yeah.
Who has
old
been
man.
running since he was
3 miles every
since he
damn
was-
day.
Since he was a day old.
0 days old. First day he ran.
He ran 3 miles when he was
3 miles.
couldn't open his
That's
eyes
the
yet.
commitment.
Yeah.
That's David Goggins'
No, but-
level of commitment.
Speed of light for a second is 186,000 miles. Are you sure?
Yes, I know that. My dad taught me that. So
And your dad is the all-knowing power of the world.
you know he is. When he comes on here, he's gonna spit facts. Okay,
I would
180.
like to listen to that.
You will. You'll get to.
Okay.
I asked my mom to come on, and she was like, "No, no." It's gonna take some convincing.
Going?
I think so. It's pretty dope. What's going on, guys? They probably died by now, honestly. I'm guessing my phone and that camera and probably the GoPro are all dead. This thing's recording
thing
now, but
is-
this thing's almost dead. It's 18%, and I have to
How
pee
many-
so bad.
How long have we been going for? An hour and a half.
I actually haven't pressed the recording yet. I don't know. It's gonna probably tell me when I stop.
You haven't
Oh,
pressed
50
go yet?
Imagine. It's 56 minutes. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Keep talking.
Okay.
Give your best explanation of this universe.
Okay. We,
Or anything, because it's you, not me.
we live in... If we live in an ever-expanding universe, is the Earth, is everything moving at the speed of light? Is when the Big Bang happened, everything flew, or all the energy, it somehow turned into matter somehow. Who knows? There might be a theory out there, I don't know it. Is everything around us moving at the speed of light towards the edge of the universe, but we'll never reach the end of the universe because we're moving at the same speed as it. Max. He's gone. Is everything moving at the speed of light towards the edge of the universe, but we'll never catch up because the universe is moving just as fast as us? It's a good question. Who knows? I think that glasses are a pretty cool thing. The fact that we can warp glass to make our vision better, that's pretty crazy. I have a question.
Yeah, what is it?
Is everything, do we know if everything in the universe is moving or not? Like, when the Big Bang happened, like, are we still moving at the speed of light with all the other stars around us and everything like that?
One more time?
When the Big Bang happened, everything started expanding at the speed of light. Are we moving with that expansion?
Yes.
We
We're
are?
still moving at that same speed.
Do we know that for sure?
I think so.
And all the stars around us
Why
are
would-
too?
Yeah, why wouldn't we be? Why would we have slowed down? Or why would we
I
have
guess
slowed
there's no
down?
air resistance in space.
Yeah, dude, we just keep going.
What was that initial acceleration?
186,000 miles per second.
Force equals mass times acceleration. What was the mass and what was the force? And what was the acceleration?
That's the thing. That's the thing. We just don't know. That's because we're too dumb to know. So really this podcast is pointless because we are too dumb to ever understand the world around us. But I don't like that view. I think
Yeah,
we can
I
take a
don't like
little
that
bit
view
more of an optimistic view.
Today, today in my Google form that I wrote for Miss Mulvey for my recommendation, one of the 3 qualities I picked was optimism.
Optimistic. Yeah. I like that one too. I'm pretty optimistic.
I chose maybe honesty, optimism, and
You're an honest boy.
that caught me.
Yeah, come on. The phone's dead.
Honesty?
Didn't see
Okay.
shit.
Honesty, optimism. What was my third one? I think it was shoot, I forgot. Maybe like passion. I forget what it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was talking about, the open-mindedness, adaptability, curiosity, passion.
Do you do that Google form for Miss Mulvey? Or
I kind of just wrote an email to Mr. Mulvey, like, I told him 3 stories. I told him one about how 3 years in a row in Model UN, you basically you're in a team with someone. I've had shit partners I was with last year, but it wasn't that good. And basically the other person's topic has gotten chosen 3 years in a row. So I was talking about I've just learned to adapt and not get pissed when the other version or when the other option got chosen over mine. I'm just done the research that night, prepared for it, and still done the best that I could, even though I hadn't prepared it all 3 years in a row. And then I talked about I honestly forget. Oh, something about island cleanup, something maybe about, I don't know.
While you were gone, that's all I was talking about.
Yeah.
Are we moving at the speed of light?
Okay.
So why is my hair standing still?
Gravity?
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is gravity, right?
It's something to do with our, just I don't know. Actually, don't know. Atmosphere, gravity, combination of everything.
Yeah.
And
what
my
do we
hair would
know?
only flow because of an increase in acceleration.
That's an impossible question. What do we know? Because we don't know what we know. Right? We don't know what we know.
We know what
You
we
know
know. We
some
don't know what
stuff.
we don't know.
Willa has a cool essay she's writing for Columbia, or no, not Columbia, U Chicago, and it's the known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns.
That's cool.
Known knowns, Max and Leo are doing a podcast right now. Known unknown, the Big Bang, don't really understand it. Unknown unknown, we don't have words for it. Most of the universe is an unknown unknown to us. Only what we see right in front of us is a known sometimes, because a lot of the stuff we see right in front of us we don't really know.
The inside of that computer, to me, is an unknown known.
But is it a known unknown? Okay. So if I know something and you don't, or if you know something and I don't, is it a known to you and an unknown unknown to me?
No, it's an unknown.
It's just an unknown.
Fuck is known. Now it doesn't sound like a word.
Yeah. Bottom. Someone was talking about bottom
mine's
today.
Exit.
Exit. Yeah, I didn't like bottom. I was like, no, I don't think bottom's a real word.
Exit.
Exit.
Exit. One time I was just exit.
You know what's weird? In English, exit is to leave, exit, and in Spanish, éxito is success.
Once you're successful, you're out of there.
You're out of there. Get in and out. It's maybe a good poker player, as quit while you're up. Is that a strategy?
Yeah.
Quit while you're up.
Quit while you're ahead is the
Quit
phrase.
while you're ahead. Yeah, is that the phrase? Quit
Yeah.
while you're ahead. Yeah, that's a pretty good
Mom
phrase.
always says that.
Your mom?
I feel like
Quit while you're ahead.
maybe
Moms know so much, but actually they don't know anything.
they have a lot of unknown unknowns.
Yeah, they know a lot about.
Know what they have that we don't? To us, it's an unknown known because everyone else knows it except us. The pain of birth.
Yes.
Except when I pushed out that fat shit this morning, that was probably similar.
Yeah, that was probably the
I
same
pooped out
thing.
water this morning. You know when you
Yeah.
got some diarrhea and it's
Yeah,
just straight
I
water?
love that. Do you like that?
No.
Bad,
Not at all.
bad,
It
bad,
was
bad,
it was
bad,
like
bad,
Sharky,
bad.
so spicy.
Ew, fuck
It was
Sharkies.
bad.
Sharties!
It was the first time I
Sharties!
really, really badly shit after Sharkies.
I threw up after Sharkies one time and I was like, yeah, this is what they're known for.
Yeah.
I wonder how many other thousands of people have also thrown up or shit their brains out the morning after
The boneless
Sharkies.
wings at Sharkies are so bad.
I don't know how people like boneless wings over regular
I
wings.
know.
How?
Well, I got boneless wings and I was like, bro, they're so gross.
Bone
And then she
in
eats
wings
the
are so
she
much
eats
better.
The bone-in ones and he's like, oh, these are better. And I was like,
Yeah, but Molly does that with everything.
Yeah.
Molly
She's
literally
like,
does
I
it.
hate burgers. This burger is so good.
I'm like, dude, please try
I
more
hate
things.
ice cream.
I hate ice cream, but you love
But
candy.
you love ice cream.
But you love
have
ice
cream in your freezer right now.
Oh, I know you went down there last night, Molly, and we're munching on ice cream.
ice cream.
Don't you lie to me.
I'm not that big. I like ice cream, but I'd rather have a pastry. I'm a pastry guy.
Oh, dude, I saw a video of freshly made Boston creams, and I was like,
Boston cream donuts are so good.
they're so good.
My favorite donut.
Really?
Yeah.
Respect. I also love Boston creams.
When I go to Dunkin' Donuts, I get a
Eclairs are
Boston cream.
unreal, but they're basically
are
a
good.
Boston cream
It's just
in another
different-
in dick-shaped
different
form.
ratios.
Yeah.
Different ratios.
Yeah,
Dick
different
shaped.
Dick-shaped form with the hand motion as well. Dick-shaped foods are pretty fucking good.
Popsicles.
Hot dogs, popsicles,
Hot dogs
bananas.
are fire. Bananas are fire.
Yeah, I love bananas. People hate on bananas, but
Bananas are fire. My brother
bananas
doesn't like
are
bananas.
fire. A good banana is a.
My brother's 21 years old and he's still stubborn about bananas.
I just don't understand.
He
For
threw
some
them
people,
up
if it's a
once.
texture. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's
Like
like.
when I threw up tomatoes once.
Now you hate tomatoes?
But no.
Did you
Tomatoes.
learn? Good.
I've
Good boy.
started
I
eating
don't even-
tomatoes on my sandwiches. Like, you know, like the big, fresh, juicy, thick tomatoes, the big ones. I still don't fuck with
Mozzarella mozzarella and tomato is a great combination. I
them.
made
Yeah, on like bread
seventh grade Spanish class. A little basil,
At West Tiz.
tomato, mozzarella.
At West Tiz, that was like once every 2
Mozzarella.
weeks we'd have that on Ciabatta. For
Yeah,
lunch.
unreal. Such
West Tiz,
a good
West Tiz
Spanish.
had dope lunches when I was there.
But what I wanted to say was the thing about your brother not eating banana.
He probably does by now.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
haven't talked
Whatever.
about it in a
A
while.
little bit metaphorical. Because I need to put this into the right words. And I don't think I'm going to be able to. It's kind of, I feel like it kind of works with my theory of the confirmation biases. Like, confirmation bias is if we think something's going to be that way, we look for evidence that supports it. And we would ignore evidence that does not support it.
That's a lot of politics. It's like 100% of politics.
Yeah.
Someone putting an idea in your head that has some truth. So
Every
then you
idea has a little bit of truth, or maybe not.
Except like I poop out my mouth.
Yeah.
I theoretically poop out my mouth when
Yeah,
I
you
say dumb
theoretic-
stuff.
Yeah. Throwing up out your mouth is
Pretty
kind of
similar.
like pooping out your mouth.
Excreting
But
waste.
keep
Pooping
going
is
with
just-
what you were saying about politics, because I think I interrupted a cool thought.
No, it's just like everything. Politics is just ideas being put in your head that have some truth, that make you see other people's ideas differently. It's
Yeah.
all about conflicting opinions.
But Donald Trump is not smart enough to, like, people give him way too much credit. When people say he's like an evil genius, like a mastermind evil genius,
Yeah.
whatever people say, way too much credit. There's 50 people feeding him words.
Yeah. And also America has just been built up like to at this point like
Yeah, this is a
hard to-
really weird time.
it's
so.
hard to like completely destroy the country as a president. It's really hard.
Yeah, but I mean, we're watching it happen, kind of.
Yeah, in a political sense.
Yeah, I mean.
And economical is doomed to happen because of the virus, I guess. And we're gonna bounce back up eventually.
OFC.
hopefully. Knock on wood.
OFC.
Of course.
I believe in it.
yeah.
Everything. I mean, if you think about the entropy, I like the thing that everything gets not even more chaotic, but
Less simple.
yeah, less simple. Everything gets more complex, and I think that if you think about like money or our innovation, the exponential growth curve, everything kind of seems to be
Yeah.
going. Nothing's coming back in. Everything's improving. Everything right now, especially because we're at the bottom of it.
Just, like,
Technology.
big topics in general are going up. So of course there's many failures.
Yeah, it's like the
many.
but the general success, the general upwardness, the general increase, is a direct result of countless micro failures
in learning.
and learning. But isn't learning just failing and
Yeah,
learning from
failing
what
is
you did
learning.
wrong?
Failing
Yeah.
is learning. Learning is
I
failing.
hate how we demonize learning in school.
Demonize failing in school.
Yeah.
No.
Demonize failing in school.
Demonize learning. Demonizing failing is the same as demonizing learning.
Wow.
Bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. Mr. Worldwide, it's a step in the room. Usher, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy to think about. Because I wasn't even thinking about how F's are bad. I was thinking about how, like, if you mess up on it. Well, yeah, it's kind of like F's are bad. But if you mess up on an assignment, it's not like people are like, oh, yeah, like, this is a great opportunity for growth. It's like, oh, yeah, you failed. Like, now you can move on to the next one. Like, hopefully you'll do better. Can you imagine an education system where we don't?
Have grades? They do that in other countries.
I was not even going to say don't have grades, but where we maybe
We value failure.
value failure. Maybe not having grades is a part of
Rather
it.
than shame it, we value it.
Maybe it would be really hard to judge. That's why things are weird to judge, because we're not that good. It seems like we're not that good of judging things. We're not that good of judges. But like if we were somehow able to score kids based on the amount of times they've failed and learned from them, that would be cool.
Say that again?
If we were able to come up with a scoring system, kind of like A through F's.
Oh, for how much someone
For
has
how
learned
mu-
from their failure.
Yeah, how many times, how many instances of someone failing, like the magnitude of those failures, and then being like, oh my God, I didn't do this next time
That's
when I
almost
do
like
something
my college
similar.
essay. Learning from failure and also becoming a leader is like a key part of my college essay.
I think leading through action.
Yeah, that's what
Leading through action is
that's my like body paragraph.
leading through action is the most important. Because it's like you don't want to just tell
my
someone
story.
to do something.
Yeah.
Because then they'll
Lead
do
by
it.
example.
Maybe they'll do it, but they're gonna be like, "Fuck this person."
Yeah. You
Like,
can't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do. Like, I'll do it this
is
time,
my
but like,
decision.
yeah, it's almost like it's not
Dignity.
manipulating people to think that they came up with it, but it's a little bit of that.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little bit of that.
It's a lot of that.
It's a lot of that.
It's like I'm trying to think of an example of that.
It's hard to think of examples of leading through action because like we lead in really subtle ways. Like when we're talking about like where to go for dinner, like when me and Will are deciding where to go for dinner and I just make a decision, that's like leading in a very subtle way. But then it's like when you're standing in the front of a group of people and you're in the front, it's like a really obvious way of leading. But there's like subtle and obvious ways of leading. But I think they both come from somehow manipulating the people around you to get them to do what you want, hopefully with the intent of a positive outcome for them also.
Yeah. It just made me think of how geese fly in a V. The leader pushes air back at the geese, and the other glide.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
That's how
that's
they do that,
dope.
then they rotate.
Oh,
It's
I
one
like that.
It's like one geese is flying,
One
the rest
goose
are
is
coasting,
flying.
off their.
That is
They
smart.
do the occasional.
When we think of us being so smart, then we look at something we don't think of as smart at all. Geese.
And they're doing this.
And they're doing this thing that makes life easy.
But I guess cars, similar concept.
Pretty easy. But cars are
Pollute.
pollute.
Bikes.
Bikes are good. Bikes are plus. And
We love bikes.
we love bikes. Dude, I've
Also,
rode bikes
rubber
bikes
tires.
for 15 years straight.
The only place I'd ever ride my bike is the woods with Isaac. I didn't
Yeah,
have a
that's because you didn't
neighborhood.
live on East Chop or in Deer Run, and you didn't know me.
Yeah.
If we were 14 right now, we would have been riding bikes for the last 4 hours, and would have just me and my friends.
We've just been
came to
chugging
this-
hose water at the beach club.
Yeah, dead ass. Yeah, we would have been chugging hose water at the beach club.
love hose
Damn.
water.
I have so many memories at East Chop, and it's just like, it's weird when all your memories are compacted into one place. Like one setting, and you can kind of like, And if you think of it as a layout, like if I think of the beach club as a layout, I can think of this happened there, this happened there, this happened there, this happened there.
It's like
Even
Martha's
though
Vineyard.
I'm not, kind of like Martha's Vineyard, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that day I drove from Oak Bluffs to Aquina, and we did that thing on the cliffs, and then we drove back, and then we went to Edgartown. It's over here. It's like the map. Oh, dude, maps are pretty dope.
Yeah.
Because
Maps
it's
are
like,
very old technology.
yeah, I'm glad we came up with that one early.
Yeah, that was detrimental to us being on Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah. It's interesting learning about the first explorers right now. What are you thinking? What
Cool
did you
concept, but I was thinking,
Share
do you
it.
think that our consciousness travels with our family or where we were born? Probably with our family, right? Sorry, I can word that better. Like when we are born, it's like our soul almost. Does our soul come from our, like, being born from these two people? Or like if we were born from the same two people in a different place, would I not be in this conscious, like, it's so hard to explain. Would I not be me? Would I be someone else on Martha's Vineyard, but like a Wampanoag on Martha's Vineyard?
Wouldn't you just be a different version of
That's
yourself?
what I'm thinking. That's why I was like, nah.
Yeah, but I like what you're talking about
Yeah,
because
it's
you're
cool.
talking about how our surrounding influences us, and
Yeah.
I love that thought about how we are
was hard to
we
put
are
into
nothing.
words.
Yeah, but I think I get it now.
Yeah.
It's weird, like what you just did. You put a difficult thing that you barely even understood in your own head into words, so that now I barely understand it in
Yeah.
my head, but I can talk about it.
Yeah.
But now I can, like, maybe, I don't know if this is exactly what he meant, but this is another idea that I
Related to
got as
that.
a result of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, we are obviously very much a result of our surroundings, right? Our family,
For sure.
the surroundings we're raised in. But say we keep the same family, but we're raised in India, we would be very similar in a lot of ways, but very different in a lot of ways, because a big part of the surrounding.
We have the same soul. Like,
But then what is soul?
yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Is a little bit
consciousness.
metaphysical, yeah.
It's just like, would we be the same, like, body and mind? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, the way we interpret.
just
I kind
like,
of think
would
of-
I see through the same eyes, or would I be seeing through some other body's
Well, the
eyes?
lenses we view the world are shaped by
I'm not talking about lens strictly biological. Would my brain see through these same eyes? You know what I mean? Like, if I had the same parents, but I lived somewhere different, would I be me, or would I be me somewhere else? Oh, it's so hard to explain.
Well, no, I mean, I think that we're really influenced by our surroundings, but I also think we have core. Oh, but then it's like, if everything is learned, is there anything that is 100% true to us? Like when we're saying, like, I'm doing this, like, because I want to, like, because I chose to do this.
That's not real.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's like all my English class was last year. It was cool. It was like a really good class with kids who didn't want to learn about it, or kids who argued all day.
Yeah. You know who we're talking to.
Yeah. There's two of you.
There's two of you. I wasn't even
Or
in the
you
English
both.
class, and I knew. I know who you're talking
And there's
about.
one of them, separate from the two, there's one kid that made that class fun. You know who you are too.
Keaton.
Yep. Keaton.
I still wasn't in that class. How did I know?
It was Keaton.
Keaton.
He is a free thinker.
Keaton is quite funny, except I don't like how he makes fun of Jews. Like
Yeah.
everyone should get made fun. I think that everyone needs to get made fun of, but I think he did it in a little bit of a distasteful way. And I was just like,
Which part?
I don't even know.
That was a while ago.
It was probably a while ago, and I don't even know what it was. And I don't really care because I make fucked up jokes all day long, so I can't really talk. But I just like know that I didn't like Keaton for a while because I was just like, yeah, that kid's just like a dick, just like just like immature. But I think that immaturity, there's a lot like Ava Maggi, Andrew Marchand, Keaton Aliberti, all the late Augusts.
You think so?
Have a
pattern.
Have a little bit of a pattern of immaturity, and then Ruby Ryman, Willa, Max. I don't know about Jacob Gurney. Some people are a
Vinny
little.
De Silva.
Is Vinny De Silva
old?
September?
No, he's like a year older.
But maybe that's the confirmation bias. Maybe that's like me thinking that I'm more mature than other people.
That's a cool idea that you introduced me to.
Yeah,
Like
it's like everywhere though. I think the confirmation bias like is in more places than just politics. It's in science.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like when we're doing an experiment.
It's like, there's this movie that I told you and Willa to watch. Me and Molly always told you guys to watch, and you never did.
What movie?
Trial by Fire.
I've never. Oh yeah, I actually have heard you. I have heard you say it.
These cops investigate this crime scene, and before they go in, they already thought they knew what happened.
Yeah.
So they missed a bunch of obvious stuff.
Yep.
And they make the wrong accusation.
Yep. People, but they are. That is a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. People are doing that. That is a fact, Leo.
It was literally like based off a true story. Like, this guy died because of it. He got put to death because people thought he killed his own kids. And the whole time, he was so upset that his kids died. And people thought it was an act.
It's fucked. Wrongful imprisonments
Suck.
way worse than suck. We don't even have words.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that there are people in jail right now, locked in a cage, no sunlight, no friendship, for no reason, or for a completely unjust, unfair. Someone didn't like this person. Someone thought they just ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough money to pay their. Yeah.
You would love that show.
You love Prison Break. Maybe I'll check it out.
That's like the beginning of the story. Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. Yeah, but dude, everything is either you're in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time, or nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's one of those three. You're in the wrong place at the wrong time, something bad happens, nothing happens, or something good happens.
My ping pong paddle is at the wrong place at the wrong time, and I hit it over the table.
Yep. Or when I hit a beautiful, beautiful forehand and it just whips around the corner. Right place at the right time.
Nice top spin. Give some extra speed after it lands.
So is the right place at the right time? Oh,
it happens a lot.
I have so many thoughts in my head. It's like difficult to even string together a conversation sometimes because I want to go off in so many different directions. Like I was thinking, we think of time as moving in one direction, right?
Yeah.
How is that for certain? Do we know that time is do we know that time is moving in one direction? Because it feels like things are happening to us and we keep going. But maybe we're staying the same. Maybe we're here and this is time and it comes and it keeps pushing and we're here and we keep doing stuff. We're running, we're having a podcast, blah, 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 blah. And time keeps pushing on, but we never move. But it feels like we're moving along with time.
In both scenarios, time is moving in one direction.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was just thinking about the right place at the right time. It's like everything has a position in the universe.
What if there's no right time and you're just in the right place or the wrong place? Time has nothing to do with it because time is inevitable.
Yeah.
But also, you can't be in the right place at the right time.
But like also time isn't. I mean,
also,
it is
we can't
inevitable.
control time, so we can't be in the right time because we're always in one time.
We can't be in the right time because how are we supposed to judge the right time when we're only in this time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We are only ever in one time. I guess we are only ever in one place as well. So we are never in the right or wrong place.
We are just in a place and a time. And
whatever happens to us is going to happen
and
no
we
matter what.
Decide in our heads and whatever is going on up here and whatever our consciousness is and whatever whoever Leo and whoever Max is, we assign whether it is good or bad based on whether it is good or bad for us.
Do you believe that in this existence that me and you are existing in, there is one future where me and you will be we will have two certain lives, and there's no way we can stray from that future, and it's gonna happen?
Fate?
Yes.
Do you have an answer?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I do believe in
Go
fate.
ahead.
But I think in the moment, we are controlling our fate. And, like, if we are our own person, and we have our own fate. So technically, you control your fate, but you can't change your fate, because fate is fate. That's what's gonna happen.
A sequence of events, you're going to act in a certain way, and it's going to trigger a certain sequence of events, and all those actions are going to bounce off each other, and 30 years from now, you're going to be in one single place at one single time.
Yeah.
But I think that the fact that you are going to be there is fate.
Yeah.
But I think that fate could be anything, because you are in control of you're in control of your actions at the present, and the present shapes the future, and it shapes the present shapes everything. The present dominates.
But if you had a time machine and you went to the future, could you hit 100 different futures, or is there one future that you can only go to? You can't go to 4 different ones at the same time. There is one future.
But
this
is obviously hypothetical. But if you were to get in that time machine and travel to the future you arrive in would be one that was influenced and took into account the fact that you did that. The fact that you traveled through space-time, through whatever type of technology you're using.
What if you just show up and there's nothing and you just fall into the big crunch? You die. What if the first time anyone travels through time is a big crunch and we die? Like someone goes through a wormhole and fucks up something.
I think we got a while before that. I don't think we're smart enough.
I don't think that's possible, personally.
Yeah.
I think I'll leave it up to be possible.
I'll
leave it up there in the possible
We'll leave it
category,
up there in the possible.
but I don't think we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, the time scales. It's so hard to think about because we're so young. I mean, we're 18 years old.
I can only remember like 10 years of my life.
Maybe.
And the first 8 of those 10 years are really
remember
blurred.
like 5 years.
I can only remember like 2 months, honestly.
Yeah, like I can remember like dating Willa. That was like
19
months ago. And then it's like that shit happened and I was a different person. But think about when we're 70, or maybe we'll be able to live to like 150 because technology is going to be so good. So say we're 200, say we're 180.
I think we'll be at like 100.
Okay, so say Max and Leo are at 100 years old right now. We are going to be such different people than we are right now. But I feel pretty formed right now.
The year 2103.
2103.
They're not going to give 0 fucks about anything. We're going to be so savage. Old people are the most savage. Snoop Dogg.
Snoop D-O-double-G. Yeah, dude. People don't give a fuck because they've realized they're like life doesn't matter. Like the universe doesn't give a shit about me.
Or maybe they've realized life matters. Why not stop worrying about giving a fuck?
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I like it's kind of like I take solace in the fact in knowing that I'm so small and so uninfluential that really whatever I do, really, it doesn't matter that much. I could
So just do it.
Yeah, dude.
Nike.
Literally anything. Like, worst comes to worst, you die. And then you're over. And then whatever happens to you after death, we don't know. Because you die and you can't. Maybe it's cool, maybe whatever happens. But your influence in this life, in this time and place, in this location, environment, setting, your kids, your influence is done. Except your influence lives on through other people. So you don't really die. Maybe your maybe your consciousness, but no, not even your consciousness dies, because your consciousness gets propagated by other people that knew you and other people who pass on your ideas. And then since we're able to, dude, our consciousness is going to live on forever through this recording. If we were to die tomorrow, people would know who we were.
And I'm glad. If I'm in 3 years from now in my dorm room at Duke University listening to this,
And Max is in Georgetown, UT Austin, anywhere
sucks
good.
that I only have one that I really want.
Yeah, fuck, dude, I'd be happy at like
Three
UNC
would be
Chapel
dope.
Hill would be cool. Brown would be dope.
If I'm in my dorm room with my roommate, whoever they are,
Probably fun. Probably love Little League just as much as you.
just look at each other right now and give a nice fist bump for Leo.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Because, I mean, we're lucky to even... The off chance... You know how we're talking about, like, there's life out there? And there's probably a lot. But there's not that much around us. There's no... I mean, not that we can see. Not intelligent.
It's not very dense.
Not very consciousness. Not very conscious.
Life. What do you think?
The life around us?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, they're chilling.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not having all the emotions that we are. We are much more densely packed than the life around us. I think that's a fine claim to make. I think it would be an unfair claim to make that we are smarter than dolphins, because dolphins are really good at their environment, and they're going to survive probably way longer than us if we don't drain all the oceans or fuck up the oceans too bad, or kill or hunt all of them, because we're just like dicks.
Yeah.
But I think that the density of our emotions and our interactions with each other make us very unique. And our ability to imagine things that aren't there, our ability to form connections with people and talk with them and hang out with them and do what we're doing right now makes us pretty special. And I don't know how much more that, I mean, obviously there's more out there like that, but none that we can see right now. At least in our general vicinity, it's just us right here.
Yeah. Us in this bonsai tree.
Us in this bonsai tree.
And those fish over there.
Yeah, I mean, those fish aren't feeling
Much.
the same crazy feelings we're feeling right now. Like, we're on a wave. Feelings are kind of like a wave, because once I feel them, you feel them a little bit more. Like, if I was really sad right now, you would be able to detect that.
True.
And you would be able
inside of me.
Yeah, and like once I have an idea and I share it with you, you're able to experience that idea. We're connected in this very subtle, this very strange way that we don't really understand. It's almost like as soon as we see each other, we get connected. And then when we talk, we get connected again. And then when we dap up, we get connected a third time. And it's like all the different levels of connection. They're very like nuanced, they're very complex, they're very like indescribable almost. That's what a cool way of analyzing the world, or like looking, like having a cool lens for the world is through different connections. That's like when I think of major things that have happened in world history, I think Silk Road, Age of Exploration, connecting people. Renaissance was all the exchanges, then railroads, then cars, then the internet. And then it's going to be Neuralink, and everyone has Neuralink, and we're going to be able to directly communicate with each other in our heads, and we're not going to need language because we're going to be able to understand exactly what each other are thinking.
And Elon Musk is going to be our god.
And Elon Musk is going to be our god, and we're going to love him for it.
Thank you, Elon.
All hail Elon! Elon!
I think we just came full circle. All hail Elon.
All hail Elon. Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty dope guy. I wonder how smart he actually is.
I think he's quite smart.
He's pretty smart.
Like when Joe Rogan gives him like a hypothetical and he's just like, I can't answer that. Like the fact that he knows something that we don't have the ability to like put in our heads, that he's like, that doesn't make any sense. When I would be like, oh.
Yeah, we would
Joe
try to
Rogan's
come
like,
up with something.
What's the percent that we're living in a simulation right now? What's the chances? I would have been like, 2%.
Yeah, like maybe
Elon
like
was like,
50.
I can't answer that.
Yeah. Maybe a marker of intelligence is knowing the limitation of our own intelligence.
Ooh, that's a cool idea.
It's a cool idea, right?
Yeah.
That's like maybe why I love thinking about how much do we actually know. Because maybe I'm like getting at knowing our limits.
Knowing our limits as humans.
But then it's also, fuck those limits.
Yeah.
Go push.
Yeah, this bonsai tree. It's not going to stop growing. What the heck? It doesn't want to do that.
If I told that bonsai tree, you're not going to grow anymore,
he would not listen.
he would not give a shit about me. He would say, all right.
He'd be like, all right.
Yeah,
grow.
you grow no matter what I did. I mean, like, we have to let I think there's a delicate balance between everything. I think there's a balance between every two extremes. You have to find the right balance to like. Oof, it's a little silent for it. To make the right choices. Like, I forget exactly what I was talking about, but like the limitations of knowing that we don't know a lot and knowing that we know enough to keep going. Like having that balance, it's like it's holding those two conflicting ideas together and then like rubbing them together like stones and then creating the fire.
It's like when Neil deGrasse Tyson said, you have to know enough about a subject to think that you're right, but
I never understood that quote.
It's like
I think
on,
he
like, some
botched
ad.
it. Yeah.
Some
It's
ad
for
in
like the master class.
He's
Yeah.
like, you have to know enough about a subject
To know that
to-
you know,
to make
to make it think you know, but that you actually don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like I like thinking that we know enough to know like one of the things I think to myself all the time is the only thing I know is that we know nothing. Eric Kahn, that's something we can both agree on.